On this Chapter 7 test review sheet, I'm going to work numbers 17 and 18. And just to clarify, there is another video that contains all of the problems being worked out on the Chapter 7 review sheet. But when that previous video was made, I used a different method to do numbers 17 and 18. And I want to show you what I'm considering to be a preferred method. I've changed my way of thinking. Not that what the answer on the previous video is correct for 17 and 18, but I'm going to work these problems a different way. And the way I'm doing it on this video is the way I'd like to see you do these when you see these on your test. All right, so for number 17, I'm going to do log, common log, on both sides of this equation. So this is different than what you may have seen on the previous video. End result will be the same, however. All right, now using the property of logs, that is known as the power property, I'm going to bring this exponent down and let it serve as a factor. I'm going to multiply x plus 2 log 5, and that's going to equal log 9. Okay, since this is multiplication and I'm trying to solve for x, I'm going to undo multiplication of log 5 with division by log 5. All right, and so that's going to leave me with x plus 2 on the left, and I'm going to grab my calculator and hit the log button and put in 9, and then divided by log again and put in 5. And that gives me, I'll just write out the whole decimal, 1.36521238.9. So to solve for x, I'm just going to take that number, it's in my calculator, and subtract 2 from it. And that means my answer is negative 0.6348. All right. And so that is my answer for number 17. Okay. Now let's move over to number 18, and it's an inequality, but we're going to go about it the same way that we did with the equation. I'm going to do log on both sides. And power property, but this time the difference is I'm going to do the power property on both sides. Now when the variable, in this case variable x, is on both sides, that's going to require that I distribute log 3 to both of these terms, x and negative 1 essentially. So log 3 times x, x log 3 times negative 1, negative log 3. And so far I haven't done anything other than the power property on the right side. Okay, so I'm going to get x terms on one side of the inequality, so I'm going to move x log 4 to the left, and then if it doesn't have x in it, I'm going to move it to the right. So I'm going to subtract x log 4 from both sides. And I'm going to add log 3 to both sides. And the purpose for this is now I have a GCF. I can factor x out of this on the left side, leaving me with log 3 minus log 4. And again, I'm going to undo multiplication with division. So all of this is going to be divided on both sides. I'll go ahead and put parentheses because you'll need the parentheses when you divide using your calculator. Okay, well this is a little tricky, so you have to be careful. If you notice that the expression that I have here in parentheses, log 3 minus log 4, is going to create a negative number. You can think of it this way: 3 minus 4 is going to be negative, and so in a similar way, log 3 minus log 4 would also be negative. So what happens here is I'm dividing by a negative number on both sides. And for inequalities, that requires that I change the direction. It's going to go from less than or equal to greater than or equal to. So these are going to cancel, and my answer is going to be x is greater than or equal to. Make sure you catch that. And now let's turn over to our calculator and do log 3 divided by, and then the denominator I'm going to put in parentheses, so I'm going to do left parentheses, then I'm going to hit the log button, 3, and then close those parentheses, minus log again, and 4, and I'm actually going to do right parenthesis twice, once for the 4, and then another time to finish closing in the entire denominator. And my answer ends up being negative 3.8188 after rounding. So that is my final answer. And so again, if you already watched the video of the entire review sheet, just follow the method that I'm using for numbers 17 and 18 on this particular video. I just didn't want to have to redo the whole chapter 7 video, but I do want you to take note of how numbers 17 and 18 work by watching this video, not the other one. All right, if you have any questions, you're free to email me or stop by, and I'll make sure we clear up any questions that you may have.